Greetings everyone, welcome to Nick's Mods. Before the next wave of dinosaurs, today we're looking at two Chima tribes that don't exist. Or do they? While they obviously came from somewhere, we only ever see one fox and one skunk in the show and in minifig form, so I decided to flesh them out with a few tribe mates, essentially battle packs. Ferdy and Skinnet are great additions to populate Chima, but they aren't compatible with some of Chima's most iconic elements, like the armor. The cheeks are too wide to fit all the way down with the armor on, resting just a couple millimeters higher, and their distinctive tails are connected to their neck, not their hips like tails are nowadays. That's an uncomfortable fit, so the armored ones had to lose their tails. I like how complementary the two tribes are, each with a driver, a leader, and a fighter. The skunks are just slightly beefier, with stinkin' a can to spare. I went with LEGO's darkest trend screen colors since the lighter ones are associated with the dark tribes. I haven't named all of these characters, but there was an elusive second skunk in Chima Online, Scraps, who I guess we can say is the big guy. Anyway, get a whiff of Skinnet's big stinker, converted from Batman. Attack of the Talons! I like the squat husky proportions, and it already had one of the two color skunks are known for, but just black and white would be bleh, so I added other colors from the minifigures. A lavender nose and lots of green literally growing around the trike. Those and the usual chi blue really make it feel alive. The tail rear fender was easy enough to make. I could see LEGO go with a raised forward-facing tail turret or a big launcher, but I didn't want to be that over the top. This is one of the gentler Chi-mobiles. It does feel fitting that the Chi crystal is mounted right above where a real skunk would attack from. The head was the trickiest part. 3 studs was too wide, 2 not enough, so I went with both. The whole thing's shaping ended up being really fun, though I realized from some angles it looks more like a badger than a skunk, at least with its tail down. Ferdy's Outland bike was a much more difficult conversion. Not to build, but finding a base to build from. I wanted something in the style of the Outland bikes, or rather late 2010s Ninjago bikes, but I'd basically used them up and had to look all the way back to 2014's The Lego Movie, which stars Batman. So I guess this is kind of also a Batman set? And hey, it's an early 2014 set, right when I'd imagine LEGO releasing a Fox vehicle officially if they were ever going to. It's the most authentic conversion yet on this show, as perfect a match as they'll ever be. As soon as I saw that orange, the vague shape of eyes and a nose, the ears like spoiler, it practically modded itself. Under normal circumstances, I could see Ferdy keeping the original wheel and rear tread, but they're not ideal for Outland racing. So we can say he switches between sets of wheels depending on the occasion and where he is. Still, I kept some of the original rear wheel spirit with the fattest tire I could squeeze in, matching the Bat's Outland bike. Appropriate considering how closely related bats and foxes are. Like Skinnet's green, I wanted the fox tribe to have an accent color. Blue in this case, but darker translucent blues than usual, including extra thrusters behind the cheek tufts, and even a tiny bit of opaque dark blue to tie it all together. The ears can tilt forward like brakes, but also inward like a real fox's ears perking up. Like the tribes themselves, these two vehicles complement each other beautifully with their inverted proportions, and even Ferdy's chi crystal up front. I can't say Skinnet's lower, wider, bulkier trike would perform well in an Outland race against Outland bikes, but I could at least see him participate to support his friends and watch their backs, or just litter the track with green clouds of weaponized stink. Some of the most fulfilling Chima conversions have been for often overlooked characters like these. Every new tribe represented just makes Chima feel that much more alive, even if it's a tribe of one. Chima was juggling a lot of tribes towards the end, but if there was a second Dark Tribes wave, I could see them making room for these two, or at least one of them, maybe share a combo vehicle together. That's it for today. Check out my books on Amazon and itch.io, and my Patreon page to get videos like this early, your name in the credits, behind the scenes content, a patron Discord server, signed copies of Planet Ripple, and maybe even your own LEGO Rewind episode. See you next mod. Toodles!